So here's part 2 of my shading tutorial. So as you can see, I cleaned it up quite a bit. But here's how to make your fabric orb glow. So what we're going to be working on is this kind of like coming down glow. I really like using this effect. So go back to your fabric orb, add another layer, set this blending mode to screen. Then click the lasso tool, put a dot up here for wherever your light is coming from. A dot down here, a dot down here, and a dot up here. Just kind of make like a weird shape. I don't really know. And then close it up. Yeah. Then go to airbrushing and click on soft brush. Set your size to however you'd like. I like a really low opacity. And then just kind of go for it. I like to add like heavier colors up at the top. And then just, yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty quite yet. Actually add like a bit of a lower opacity down here. That's higher. So when you're done, it should kind of look like this. And then go to Gaussian blur and blur it like that much. And you can click on your lasso tool again and go to Gaussian blur again and just blur the edges a little bit. And turn down your layer opacity as needed. And I don't know, personally, if you want to, you can like erase some of the stuff underneath it to make it look like the light like cuts off at the orb, and like kind of like I did with the foot here. Hang on. So with the foot, you can see that I erased it down here. There's like a gap where it hits the foot and where it hits the body. You can see all of that. So if you want to do that, you can, but it does take a little while to erase everything. And all that is left to do is to sign your orb, and you're done. Hope that helped.